Hey everybody, this is Perch, and I have just taken the last shipment of the physical copies of Gemini Jump off to the mail, meaning this thing is fully fulfilled. And the cool part is 1 week after the campaign closing, it's all out the door. We're done. Box is out, everything going. Last thing to do is later today going to hit the send button on all the digital copies to get them out. I want I don't it, lots of people have given me lots of advice on this campaign, and like, you could have done it differently, and you could have, why didn't you do this, why didn't you do that? Well, there was a retail component to this that did cuff us a little bit, but if you listen to those interviews, we just wanted to have some fun and put something out at a cheaper price point and try and make something a little enjoyable for people. It's a couple of people come in to dunk on me, and they're like, you didn't even make 10,000. Actually, but it's not all with Indiegogo. But anyway, regardless, it did fine. We're happy. That's the point. Larry made money. I made money. Everybody's happy. You can make money at this price point. I think that a lot of people have asked, why didn't you do the t-shirts and the bundles and like the $60, the $80, the $100 packs? I think in the end, it just didn't want to put up with it, was the answer. That option was, if Larry wanted to do that, we could have, but it just felt like, I don't know, just felt like a nuisance, and didn't feel like doing it. So that's not to say people who do that are doing it wrong. People should do it however they want. That's kind of the whole point. People should have fun. This has been fun. I love getting the campaign out this fast. I love, if there's any shade I'll give to anybody, it's like, campaign went out in a week. Gauntlet thrown. Let's see what you can do. That probably pissed people off. I don't care. Anyway, getting to a viewer mail here, which I love this headline. Something snarky agenda, trigger word, something post. Love it. You're just automatic already one of my favorite mails. So anyway, here's the mail. Longtime listener, someone who writes too often. I've never met you, don't know your name, what you look like, but I'm here to tell you what your videos actually mean. Not too much work. By the way, when people do meet me, and every now and then somebody meets me, I think their reaction is always like, huh. I don't know what I haven't yet asked, like, what were you expecting? What is it that you had in your mind? I hear people like, we were expecting somebody who has like a big beard and, about 250 pounds. And I don't know. I don't know what people were expecting. I have no beard. I'm significantly under 250 pounds. I do videos where I talk about running and stuff. I don't know. Anyway, what are you expecting? Somebody said I look like George Clooney. That is not remotely true either, but unless you're going with the older part. Anyway, I'm a fan of comics, back to the mail. I'm a fan of comics, love creating them and reading them. I also listen to a ton of YouTube. I've noticed one reason why I fell out of the habit of buying floppies, listening to people talk about this run or trade, try to go back and find it. I've noticed a lot more manga channels do this. No drama. No, this creator did this. Just fans going, you need this book. I've included some that I've listened to in the past. There's some videos here of a couple different ones. Here, I should. These are good channels. Actually, I'm looking down. I listen to a lot of these channels as well. I'll put them in the description of this video. I'll probably forget doing that, but hopefully I will. Anyway, sorry, back to this. I've also included a Judge Dredd one and one from Near Mint Condition with Marvel. Near Mint Condition is a great channel. I bring this up because why are comics doing this? Even Image, why aren't they sending books out to positive YouTube? I think they kind of do, but we'll get to that more in a minute. Also, why does Twitter only talk about negative videos? I listen to hours of these manga hauls or tour videos since it's good background noise. Not expecting you to watch all these, but it's interesting, manga fans versus Western. And then the mail concludes, thanks for the insight and good luck during this Saturday. Hopefully you can get whiskey at a con sometime. Mainly, I would like good whiskey. Me too. I'm going to be at Emerald City Comic Con. If you can find me, I'll be there. So good luck. The search is on. Anyway, and make sure if you're flying into Emerald City Comic Con, go check out Sub Pop, where Gemini Jump is there. It's I think the only comic will be sold in that airport, for that matter. It's kind of crazy. So this is an interesting. I think. There's a lot of different ways we can go with this question. I do think that manga has this benefit where, because it's overseas, meaning because there's people in the US that are trying to basically explain what's going on with manga, they're getting translations, and they're in more of an instructional mode to introduce it to fans. that you're getting more, not necessarily positive videos, just benign videos. You're getting videos where they're more informative and there's less drama. You also have less drama you can tap into. It turns out the mangaka and the various creators are not out saying crazy things on Twitter because either they're not on Twitter, which is usually the case, or on Line or a system like that. And Line doesn't necessarily dip into drama like Twitter does. Twitter, people need to understand that part of Twitter's algorithm, and to some extent Facebook's as well, is to encourage drama. It's to poke the hornet's nest. That's what it's actually built to do that. From the messaging, from how, even as simple, I've mentioned this before, when you get blocked, they intentionally kind of rub it in your face a little bit to get you angry, because anger equals better engagement for them. That's their model. And so I think, Japan, if a Japanese creator, a manga creator or a Korean creator or somebody like that is on Twitter, they're also, odds are, writing kind of in their native language. And again, whether there's drama there or not, people can't read it. And it's just, nobody's going through the trouble like trying to translate these things to figure out if there's something to dunk on. I think there's a misunderstanding a little bit of the culture. They don't know exactly what people mean when they say certain things. So there's a lot of barriers to getting a lot of negativity going. So manga tends to skew informational. It tends to skew like these videos that you promoted of somebody got manga, they're happy, they're showing it off, they're trying to explain what they got. There's nothing to chase from a drama perspective like you have in the US. But the other maybe sad fact of it is there's tons and tons of manga channels that do this that have very few subs. And if you flip over for a moment, you look at the Western US comics YouTube kind of community, there's a handful of channels that are million subscriber channels, and they do get free comms, and that they do very well. But that next tier, the what I would call the obtainable tier, where you're in the 150 to you're 80,000 to 150,000 subs, which is one of those cases where that's a lot of subs. A lot of people work hard to get there, but it's obtainable. It's not like 2 million. You can get there if you do the right things. If you push, you can even start paying for it. I guess I've heard that a lot of people buy subs, so it's possible that you can actually get to that point. And those channels in that bracket tend to be more, not necessarily hot takes, but they tend to be more, here's something negative, and they're more responding on pop culture. Now, why is that? Because that's what the country is interested in right now. You look at the polarization going on with politics, with the media, with everything else. I mean, everything is an argument, from a vaccine to what people chant at football games to, everything has two sides to it, and that's kind of the binary world we live in. If you go to overseas, if you go to Japan does not operate in that same way. Japan is not two-sided, polarized like that. So there's no feeding frenzy for this. In the US, it is. And so this isn't a comics-related problem. You can look at sports, you can look at video games, you can look at movies, you can look at anything, and you will see this same kind of, that tier of YouTube channels tends to be very negative, because that's the state our country is in. I wish that just kind of the positive, benign stuff would do better, but it doesn't. And I've done kind of trolling's the wrong word, but little experiments with my videos. I did one a couple days ago of things going right in the industry, things going wrong in the industry. And if you listen to the videos, I screwed up the whole premise. And in the videos, neither one really mapped to what was said in the thumbnail. But the thumbnail for what was going wrong in the industry did far better. That video did far, far better than the other one. Why? It sounded more negative. And it's how people are tuned to view right now. And you're seeing that very heavily. Now, will this come to manga? Almost certainly it will, but it's still not quite there yet. The release of how manga works and that kind of community, it's harder to dive in there. That said, if you go to the Funimation or Crunchyroll kind of sites, you'll definitely see fights with people, and you're seeing an increasing amount of people who want to come in and claim that manga is sexist, or that fan service is misogyny, or that there's TERFs, and you're seeing this also start to hit into manga in a really big way. And unfortunately, I think eventually it will penetrate, and you're going to get this same kind of polarization, the same kind of fighting, and you're going to get this same kind of civil war with people. I'm part of a I'm on several One Piece forums because I love that show. And I have noticed just in the last 6 months, suddenly there is a dramatic uptick in people who are very concerned about Nami's breasts, that they're too large. And Oda draws his women super curvy. I mean, like ludicrously curvy, no doubt about it. But and there's always been people who are like, oh, that's absurd. Oh, that's a little sexist. Nami's running around in just a bikini top, and it's her pants are half undone. And there's always kind of been that, or for a long time there's been that anyway. But lately it's taken on a new tone to this is hard misogyny. This is Trumper behavior. She's underage. I think she started her age when she started the show was 16. I think in the show, not the animated character's animated fictional age. I think was 16 or something. She was younger, so it's like, oh, this is creepy. She's running around and exhibiting her body and all the rest. There's this scene in the Alabasta saga where the king. They're celebrating because they fought off Crocodile, and the king is in the baths with the men, and then there's the baths for the women, and the men get the idea to sneak up a peek over the wall, which is like one of the oldest tropes in manga that for forever. So always somebody sneaking over the wall, and that scene there is being a lot of people are now starting to tout that as. We should cancel One Piece, and we should not, it needs to make amends for this kind of misogyny behavior encouraged on by the powerful patriarchy, the king. And it's just that you're starting to see more and more of that creep up. So is this coming to manga? Yes, which means enjoy it while you got it. Hopefully as long as possible, because I like this happy little the videos you've shown in this little community. I watch them too as kind of white noise in the background, and I'm packing up copies of Gemini Jump to ship out to people. So it is what it is. Thank you for the mail, great subject line, something snarky agenda, much appreciated. You all have comments on this? Let me know in the comments below. Always you can send me mail. I'll read them off, and thanks for listening.